Steam cleaning has the capability of removing the dirtiest stain, the most stubborn ones from the cars. It can be used on a variety of surfaces: plastic trims, vinyl surfaces, upholstery, carpets, leather seats. It can be used on almost anything in the car's interior. Today, let's talk about it.
But what's the science behind steam cleaning itself? Now think of steam cleaning like using a pressure washer. But instead of using high pressure washer to clean the car, we are actually using high temperature water in the form of vapor and steam to clean the interior of the car. Now what does this achieve? In addition to removing bacteria because of the high temperature, you actually have the added benefit of loosening the dirt and grime. Think about the high temperature water like a pot of hot water. When you put food particles into it, you're boiling it, right? And then you slowly break down the food particles like a potato becoming soft. But instead of just the potato becoming soft, your dirt and grime is being treated by the heat. It becomes softer and easier to remove. That's why steam cleaning is so effective. But the problem with steam cleaning often is the fact that not all interior surfaces can be able to withstand the heat of a steam cleaner. Even though steam cleaning can be used on all types of surfaces, we have to be careful on what we use it on. Now in this video, we will include some tips and tricks on how to best use the steam cleaner but not damage your car's interior. Now if you're interested to it, stay tuned to the end of the video to find out. Before you start on your steam cleaning, you always want to remove all the loose debris. You want to remove the area. You can do this by vacuuming, and you can also remove everything that's around here. Why you want to do this is because you don't want all your items, your personal belongings, to be damaged by the steam cleaner. Some of us car owners, sometimes we have the habits of putting notes around in the glove compartment or somewhere around here where it's easily accessible. Now, $50 notes are made of paper along with the higher denominations. You don't want them to be damaged by the steam cleaner. And anything like your coins, you don't want them to be too hot and affected by the steam cleaner as well. There are also other common things like your watches, your phones, and maybe accessories that you will leave around that might be affected by the heat and the pressure of the steam cleaner. You don't want that to happen, so you should remove it. You should also remove all the dirt, the grime that is on your carpet or on your leather. You can do this by a wipe down, or you can also do it with a vacuum. The reason for that is because steam cleaner it removes the small particles, but for the big chunks or big damages, the big dirt that you have like rocks, leaves, grasses, those will only be removed when you vacuum it. So what we personally prefer to do is we'll do a round of vacuum before we use a steam cleaner. We try to remove as much as we can. After that, we'll use the steam cleaner to really go around the whole area, and we'll follow it up by a wipe down and then another vacuum. You should repeat this process as many times as needed, and you will find the results much more fascinating than just a simple vacuum and a wipe. How should you use a steam cleaner? Well, obviously, firstly, you fill it up with water. How much water? You have to look at the instruction manual of your respective steam cleaner. Secondly, remove all the loose debris using a vacuum and also removing all your accessories. It's important to remove the electronics if you have, especially things like your speaker. Try to cover your head unit or anything like your earpiece or your anything electronic. Try to cover it up so that the steam cleaner has a lesser chance of damaging it. Secondly, prepare a microfiber cloth. Now, steam cleaners comes with a bunch of accessories and things to help you to clean the car better. They have the triangle brush, some with a squeegee, some come with a microfiber tip. But our preference is that we have a microfiber cloth between the steam cleaner and the item that you want to clean. This is so that there's a bit of protection between these two. Steam cleaner is quite dangerous. I'm personally not a huge fan of it. That's why I try to be more careful when I use the steam cleaner. Now, before we use the steam cleaner, I would use a cleaner of sorts on the fabric itself. Now my NV200, the seats are fabric, so fabric is an easier material to work with as opposed to leather. Leather doesn't work well with too high temperatures. Now, what we'll start first, we'll spray a generous amount of product. This is the SONAX Multi-Star that we recently purchased. It's an all-purpose cleaner. So we'll just wet the whole the whole area with this Multi-Star. The purpose of it is to add more cleaning agents to the whole process. You want the steam cleaner, the heat, to lift up the dirt and grime with the help of this Multi-Star. Now, as I mentioned, when you first use the steam cleaner, you have to be very careful. After you let it sit for a while, sometimes this becomes water, so you have to just test it out before you use it on the area itself. Okay, now you see that it's steam. I personally like to cover it like that. And I'll start working on it. Now press the whole thing onto the area itself. You want to make sure you cover everything. You want to move fast. You don't want to be staying at the same spot too long because you might end up burning it. Now after a while, I like to just let it rest for a while. You don't want to keep working on it. You don't want to go to the next panel straight away. But after this, like after this process, you want to take a cloth, another microfiber cloth, to just clean it and wipe it. Now at this point, you should be able to remove most of the dirt. That's how the science of steam cleaning works. First, I introduce a cleaning agent onto the area. I heat it up as opposed to just wiping it. The heat helps me to remove most of the dirt and grime, loosen it, get rid of all the bacteria. And at the end of the day, I should be removing more than what I would usually remove with just a simple wipe down.
Okay, so I say I'm not a huge fan of the steam cleaning, not a huge fan of steam cleaner. It's not exactly because it's not effective. In fact, a steam cleaner I feel is quite effective in removing dirt. But the issue is the high temperature. When it comes to removing leather, dirt on leather, cleaning leather, I'm a bit more careful and cautious because you might end up creating new irreversible stains, damage to the leather if you're not careful enough. Now, steam cleaners are effective in removing the dirt within grooves and areas that a cloth or even a brush might not be able to reach. One of the few best uses of a steam cleaner, what I enjoy doing, what I enjoy cleaning, is the steering wheel itself. Now, the steering wheel has a badge usually, and also the grooves between your airbag and the remainder of the steering wheel. Now, this is usually best solved by using a steam cleaner, because a steam cleaner can penetrate through these small gaps that brushes can't reach as deep as they can, and also cloths will never be able to reach the small gaps. And actually, the steering wheel is actually quite dirty if you don't take good care of it, because think about it, it's the part where most of our hands touch when we are driving, and if you're not a frequent user of the hand sanitizer anymore, you might end up dirtying your steering wheel. Now, when I clean a steering wheel, I like to use a leather cleaner. I like to usually brush it and agitate it with a leather cleaner and then doing a wipe down. But if I meet with a very dirty steering wheel, a steering wheel that hasn't been washed since it's been used like years, months, I will turn to a steam cleaner mode. But at the same time, you have to be careful when you're dealing with some materials, like I said. Apart from leather, carbon fiber definitely should not be used with steering wheel because you heat up the carbon fiber. Other than that, your cup holders are usually safe, these plastic trims. But again, try not to overheat it by pressing the steam cleaner and working on the area too long. If you are not confident in it, what I usually do is I will try on a small area itself. I would go increasingly in terms of intensity, in terms of how long I work on it, how much heat I do use, how hard I press and release the steam cleaner. So some steam cleaners have heat adjustments, some have intensity adjustments. The amount of pressure you use on the area itself will also affect the cleaning power that you have on the area. So always start with a small area first, and then see if it's okay to use a steam cleaner on the whole panel itself. If you do it on a small area, you don't see any damages, then sure, continue on the whole panel, and also start to be consistent with your pressure, be consistent with the settings that you use, the human settings, pressure, how fast you work on it, and also the amount of chemicals you put on it. Try not to use too little chemicals when you clean. Really try to saturate the whole area, because you are banking on the cleaning power of the chemicals when you are using a cleaner onto the area while you use the steam cleaner.
Here are some safety precautions that everyone should take note when using the steam cleaner. Number 1, water and electricity do not go well together, but your steam cleaner involves the both of them. Ensure that all the electrical components are away from moisture. Number 2, do not leave your steam cleaner unattended for long. Give it enough time to cool down after use and enough time to warm up before use. 3, when using the steam cleaner after letting it rest for some time, when you spray the steam cleaner, sometimes water will come out. This water is hot and you should be very careful with it. Spray it away on the floor, away from people, and never point the steam cleaner at anyone, including yourself. Lastly, because you're dealing with a steam cleaner that contains very hot water, remove any tripping hazards or anything that might have prevented you from moving around carefreely when you're using the steam cleaner. Now, of course, after you finish using a steam cleaner, it's important to properly let it cool down, let it have proper maintenance of your machine. You want to, of course, at first unplug it. And the key component is always to be very, very careful, because why? The steam cleaner is very hot, you don't want to scald yourself. I will usually like to just open the cap a bit to let it cool down, the water inside, before you pour the water away. The microfiber cloths that you use might also be hot, along with the entire steam cleaner accessories such as this handle and also the pipings. You want to leave it somewhere safe where it's not in contact with any moisture. Now be careful with the microfiber cloths that you use because high temperature might cause your microfiber small fibers to be affected. So you should always inspect the microfiber cloth that you use after you use your steam cleaner. I'll usually leave it for a few minutes, pack up my stuff before I come back to it and empty the water away. Now the steam cleaning is part of a package that we have, is the interior care package. If you are interested in it, you can contact us and find a time to schedule an appointment with us. Our interior package also includes fumigation, aircon cleaning, and of course leather cleaning to keep your car in a tip-top condition. But what's the best steam cleaner to buy? Which brand is the best? I think that question is best suited for another video. However, if that comes to mind, maybe you need